I guess I'll just start it off like this. We're here today with a new beer, or an IPA, or whatever you want to call it. It's from Sweetwater. I know nothing about this. It's from Sweetwater Brewing Company, and it's the 420 strain, G13 Ipa. So, we'll see how this is. It looks cool. It certainly looks cool as hell. But I was gonna read the little description here. It says, "We took an already dank IPA and married its hops with strain-specific terps and natural hemp flavor. The result is an aromatic super hybrid sticky IPA that's ready to rip. A strange new strain indeed." Say that's 72 times fast. Alright, let's just get right into her. Bullseye. Look at that. I don't want you to get distracted with the bottle opener. Let's see. Let's just get right into it. I keep saying that, so let's do it. Let's see here. I got this little whiskey deal here. I love these. They're great for getting a good smell on something. It's aerated. Aerate. Why do I always choose to say that word in every video? I can't say it. Let's get some air incorporated into the solution. It's very crisp. It's very clean. I don't really get what they're saying about the terps. So in case you don't know what 420 is, it's usually marijuana related. And the terps are sort of like the flavor profiles of the marijuana. They do a lot with it in the industry these days. And so if you're a fan of marijuana, then I guess the idea is that you take a fat rip off a bong or something and then drink this beer. Stack your deck, we used to call it. It's not overly bitter, which is good. You know, just like I said in my last video, that IPA paired really well with, would pair really well with bratwurst. And I think it goes without saying that any beer goes good with pork. But I'm going to continue to say it because it's to just drive the point home. It's really good. I will say it's really good. It's very drinkable. Some IPAs you get, and it's just like, buddy, you are trying way too hard with that IPA. It's not as aromatic as they're boasting. But you know what? Kind of when I'm drinking an IPA, I don't want it to be too... I don't want it to command my attention too much. Like when I'm drinking an IPA, it's usually springtime, fall perhaps, and I kind of want something a little heavier, and IPAs are usually something I go for. I'm not a huge fan of IPAs. Ironically, the first two beer reviews I've done are IPAs, but I'm not a huge fan of IPAs. It has a very pronounced and It's the word I'm thinking of here. It's very pronounced, and the duration of it is also pronounced. But it's not bad. Some IPAs have a very, like, bitter aftertaste. You know, oh my god, I can't believe it tastes good, but that aftertaste kills you. This is very good. I would rate this very high. I will have to say, I personally like the marketing here. This very dark black. The bottle is very, very dark brown. It almost looks black, but it's a very dark brown. And very expensive bottle here. Custom made bottle. Sweet water made into the glass. They spent some money on that. Cut down on their profit margins going with that bottle, but I like it. It definitely stood out to me at the getting spot. So I like it. Sometimes when the artistry is a little bold like that, the beer doesn't live up to the hype. But this does. This is a good drinkable beer. You know, you look good holding at a party. How you doing, Jim? You know, you look good at a party with it. If I was going to 1 to 10 it, I would probably... Very drinkable. Very drinkable. I would probably rate it on a 1 to 10. I would rate it a strong 7, I would say. Very strong 7. I'm going to go with a strong 7. I could almost... It's a strong 7 to the point where I'm debating whether or not to make it an 8. So, that's going to have to serve. It has the potential to be an 8, but it just isn't quite an 8 for me. That's a little more. This would go really good with like if you're having like a spring or a fall party and you had like French onion dip and chips. This would go really well with that. I know some people don't. That's not like, oh, this would pair great with a pheasant a la reine. Like, no, it's real people beer. It's something that me and my friends would drink. And my friends aren't beer drinkers, really. But if I showed up with a 6-pack of this, and we were all getting ready to grill steaks or something, and I say, hey, you want a beer? You have a beer? There, you have a beer? You know, whoever. And my buddies would sit there and drink it, and we'd, hey, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty, what's the name of that? Yeah, that's the kind of beer it is. A little abstract, but that's exactly what kind of beer it is. And in those situations, you also have some, like, why am I shouting? You also have some, like, chips with French onion dip. And I love a good chips with French onion dip and baked beans and this. Yeah. That's what you're gonna want when you drink this beer. And a hot dog. I know that sounds really weird, but if you grill the hot dogs right, where you get a good amount of black on them, that's the kind of hot dog. And Lay's Ruffles with any kind of French onion dip. We grew up with Kroger brand, so I'm sort of partial to Kroger brand. What's that other French onion dip? It's like Hell of a Good Dip or something like that. And that's good. Anything's good. Any French onion dip's good. But growing up, we got a lot of Kroger brand stuff because, I mean, just look at the ingredients. That's my mom all over. I'm like, Mom, you got the Kroger brand Oreos. Oh, they're the same thing, Kevin. Look at the ingredients. And when you're that age, it is definitely not the same thing. But when you got a big car payment or something, you're like, it's the same thing. So let's have a little more to think about this. Yeah, that's got. There's only one thing you want to do with this beer. You want to have a gathering of at least 6 friends. But if you can get 10, not necessarily even friends, but people. You really, I only got 2 or 3 good friends. Maybe more. Definitely not more than 10. Why am I shouting? Definitely not more than 10. But just get a bunch of people together and get hot dogs. All the normal hot dog fixins. The big family-sized bag of Lay's, Ruffles, and any kind of French onion dip. Baked beans. Put a little bit of mustard in the baked beans. Just a little bit. Maybe just shy of a tablespoon. And I'm talking a healthy pot of baked beans, not a can. So a tablespoon for that. Little bit of brown sugar. Little bit. About this much. About that much brown sugar. You reach in, you grab it. You reach in, you grab it. And about that much brown sugar. And if you're feeling squirrely, you can put a shot of whiskey in there. The higher the quality, the better. That would go, yeah. We'll get to that. Get your baked beans. Fix them up like that. Or you know what? Fix them up however you want. But that would be my recommendation. A little bit of mustard. This much brown sugar. And let it go. Start the baked beans first on a very low setting. So the whole time you're cooking the other stuff, the baked beans are slowly coming up to heat. But they'll come up to heat enough to start evaporating that moisture and reducing the water content and intensifying the flavor of the beans. So while the beans, have those on the side burner of your grill. This has got to be prepared on a grill. You want some potato salad. Any kind of potato salad. The cheaper, the better. I want to tell you, this has turned into like my people, my Appalachian people. This is the height of a good day for us. When we think, remember that time? I can remember a lot of these exact sort of setups. Potato salad of any kind. Again, the cheaper, the better. Maybe some deviled eggs. And like I said, the deviled eggs you can do the night before. And it's actually, I prefer it that way. I like a chilled deviled egg. And with the deviled eggs, what you're going to want to do is make a normal deviled egg, take a half of a bread and butter pickle, stick it into the filling, and then sprinkle a little bit of red pepper flakes on them. And put them in the refrigerator. And the next day, the red pepper flakes, when you serve them, will be cold, a little bit cold, and will reduce the intensity of the heat. You'll still get the heat, but not quite as much. And that's more of a... It's got nothing to do with the temperature. I'm not saying that cold temperatures will bring down spice. It just tends to mellow it, especially when you have a creamy filling of the deviled egg and the egg itself. Things that are very, very bland, you're not going to get a lot of heat, but you'll get the flavor, is what I'm saying. I may have 420'd a little before I did this too. And then those are the bare essentials. And some people might scoff at this, but you get a little crudité, a little vegetable plate with some ranch dip. Those go really well at Appalachian parties. I love them. I love some baby carrots with my baked beans. I don't know why. It's a flavor profile that doesn't match, but I think it's just the juxtaposition of the really heavy, creamy, when I make it, really kind of creamy and thick baked beans with a ton of flavor, and just the crisp lightness of a carrot, a baby carrot. That's pretty good. And then the hot dogs, like I said, you're going to want about 50% black spots on the hot dog, burn marks. you don't want to, if a hot dog is totally pink, that ain't good. You're going to want to get a little bit of carbon on it. And then just your normal, don't get outrageous with the hot dog toppings. Just your normal ketchup, mustard, relish, maybe mayonnaise if you're squirrely. I like a little mayonnaise on my hot dog, then it just tastes like a grilled bologna sandwich. And that's really it. Get you some French onion dip, some Lay's chips, in the family size bag, and get some baked beans. So the baked beans kind of gets in the French onion dip, and the French onion dip kind of gets in the baked beans, and you know, a hot dog and that and this beer would be great. It'd be a match made in heaven, really. Also, for your drinking pleasure, it's 6% alcohol by volume. Yeah, very good. As it's kind of sat here and got warmer, it started to flower a little. And of course, it's decanted a little as well. And it's really flowering into something very nice. Yeah, I got a very light flavor, very light color, nice color to it. Very, like I said, very crisp and refreshing. Which I've been drinking IPAs for 10 years or better now, and I don't find a lot of them to be all that refreshing or crisp. They're good, a lot of good ones out there, but I don't find a lot of them that are refreshing. This is pretty crisp and refreshing. Like I said, it doesn't linger. If you were outside, moving around at a party, you wouldn't. It would be a great companion. And also at this party, there needs to be a cooler full of various types of Pepsi products, because you need to mix in a water every once in a while. Or not. This would be a great family reunion wine when you wanted to just sort of be social and not totally check out. Yeah, it's starting to open up now. So let's wrap this up. This has been going on for some time. So, my overall impressions, very good beer. I would buy again. It's going to be really nice with a nice early spring, late fall, or early spring, fall picnic. Yeah, picnic, or like I said, a party at your house, typically in someone's garage. Baked beans, hot dogs, that kind of thing. Very, very basic, cheap coleslaw and potato salad. Yeah, something like that would go great. This isn't a chugging beer. You don't want to chug this, but it is very refreshing. It's nice to sip, you know, and like I said, as it warms up, it retains its flavor, if not intensifies its flavor, because it's starting to bloom and decant. So it's a beer you can nurse too. You know, if you just want to you want to drink 3 beers in 6 hours. You know, something you're just going to stand there at the grill and hold and take a sip off every once in a while. This is a great beer for that. You know, there's a lot of hardcore people who do, yeah, you should be nursing beers, but you need to be chugging them, get the beer bong. But this ain't that kind of beer. This is it's you can really appreciate the quality of it. I will say that. So with that, I'm going to shut it down. Thanks again for watching if you did. And if you want to try the Sweetwater Brewing Company's 420 strain G13 IPA, go and find out where your favorite libations are sold and pick one up, or 6 or 12. But please drink responsibly. So yeah, again, not a paid advertisement. Just wanted to review a beer, let you know what kind of good baked beans go with it. So, again, try it out. Get a little closer on that. One last shot here before I shut her down. Shut the whole thing down, Dad. So again, Sweetwater Brewing Company. Go check them out. I recommend it. Have a good night.